Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us. My name is Karli Barnett. I'm here at the First Alert Desk, and we want to give you a rundown of some of the stories that we are working on for your Sunday night. Tori Cooper gave you that update that we had right after our afternoon meeting, and now we just want to tell you a little bit more about some of the stories that we've been working on and working to advance for you. We hope you are having an enjoyable and a safe Memorial Day holiday, and we want to make sure that it stays that way. We're going to get you caught up on everything that you need to know. Just keep in mind, we've got a newscast at 9 and 10 on Peachtree TV, and then again at 11 over on CBS. So we are going to jump into one of our top stories this morning, that happened this morning, I should say. An Atlanta family left grieving after a shooting killed a teenage girl, and now city leaders are pleading for an end to youth violence. So this happened outside of Benjamin E. Mays High School. That's where we learned that 16-year-old Breasia Powell was shot and killed. A 16-year-old boy is in the hospital in stable condition after a shooting that happened outside of the school. We are told this was not a school-sanctioned event of any kind, but a group of young people did gather there when violence erupted. This tragedy happening just a day after students were released for the summer, and Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, saying that Breasia was actually supposed to start her summer job next week there with the city of Atlanta. Her life unfortunately cut short due to gun violence. According to Atlanta police, officers responded there around 2:30 in the morning. And this afternoon, the mayor, the superintendent, they all spoke about this violence. We want to play for you a little bit of what the mayor said.
Their life in our city, but especially when it's a young person the day after school lets out. Here today, we're on the campus of Mays High School, my alma mater in my neighborhood, where tragically last night a shooting incident occurred, and one young lady, a rising 11th grader, lost her life, and a young man is at Grady Hospital in stable condition from a gunshot wound. He's also a rising junior. And so we stand here today calling against gun violence in our communities. We want people to be safe in this city, and to also for our young people who just got out for the summer to be able to experience a fun, enjoyable, safe summer. And so we stand here with Atlanta Police Department, APS leadership, APS PD, as well as our Department of Parks and Recreation and members from our Year of the Youth team. A lot of the members that are all focused on making sure that our young people are safe, that they have opportunities, that they're employed, empowered, engaged, they have mentorships. This morning I spent my time talking to two different families, two different mothers. A mother that has a child that has passed away, and another that's in the hospital with a child that's struggling but is in stable condition. Those are phone calls and conversations we don't like to have, but this morning my heart goes out to both families, and definitely to the family of the decedent. This young lady was full of life and was actually expected to be working for the city of Atlanta starting on Tuesday in our summer youth employment program. So we ask for your prayers and heart to go out to these families. My staff has been in contact with them, as well as myself, victims assistance, constituent services. We will make sure that they have all they need in the days to come. But what we want to express to everyone here is that to the young people, we want you to be safe. We want you to make quality decisions about where you spend your time and who you spend your time with. Late in the evening, after midnight, being able to figure out a way to go back home versus to find another destination to hang out and party. And so we want you to have a safe summer, and we want you young folks to make quality decisions about your life choices, about where you choose to go and who you choose to hang with. And also
Now, that was Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens speaking regarding the shooting that happened this morning outside of Benjamin E. Mays High School. Unfortunately, as you heard him say, a young lady lost her life. 16-year-old Breasia Powell was shot and killed. Another 16-year-old was also shot. He is recovering in the hospital. At this point, police are still investigating exactly what happened, but unfortunately, that was not the only shooting that took place over this Memorial Day weekend. In fact, it is just one of 4 across the metro Atlanta involving teenagers between yesterday and today. Breaking down this timeline for you, it was early yesterday morning, a 17-year-old was killed in LaGrange, and police say a 16-year-old was the shooter. A 17-year-old was also shot early this morning during a road rage incident on Delmar Lane. Now, they are expected to survive. And then over in Walton County, a 14-year-old is wanted in connection to a shooting that sent another person to the hospital in serious condition. So, echoing the words of the mayor there, he was saying that he really wants to put an end to this youth violence. And Breasia Powell was actually going to be working in the City of Atlanta office come next week. So very sad news to have to report tonight. And 4 shootings in a matter of the last 48 hours involving teenagers here in the metro area. We know that it is, of course, summertime, and for your Memorial Day, you may be out and about, but we do want to emphasize summer safety. Maybe you're spending the day out on the water, maybe spending the day out on the lake. Madeline Montgomery did a story about just some reminders, because we can't emphasize it enough, of how to stay safe out there on the water.
When you are out on the water, these guys do understand that you are out to have fun, but there are things you need to do to be safe. Unless you're 13 and under, you don't have to be wearing one of these while the boat is moving, but each person on a boat does need a life jacket, and there are plenty more rules if you are going to be safe on the water. While our first alert meteorologist forecasts for a nice weekend on the water, game wardens predict it'll be a busy one.
For each person, they need to see a life jacket.
And that can make things a bit dangerous. Last Memorial Day weekend, the state of Georgia saw 9 waterway-related fatalities, according to the Department of Natural Resources.
These numbers represent tragic incidents, and they involve real people. These incidents leave family members and friends devastated and saddened.
There have already been 16 waterway fatalities in 2023. That's why game wardens want to remind boaters about being safe on the water with life jackets, flotation devices, and by following state laws.
The 100-foot law mandates idle speed within 100 feet of a person, boat dock, swimming area, or any other object in the water, including the shoreline.
Folks heading to the lake or the beach or barbecue also need to be safe.
We want Georgians and those who travel through Georgia every day of the summer and every day of the year to be safe on the highways and on the waterways.
State troopers will be out in force this weekend, making sure the 1.2 million people expected to be driving in Georgia are being careful.
Last year, during our 78-hour Memorial Day holiday period, the Department of Public Safety issued over 10,000 citations, 9,600 warnings, and arrested 330 people for driving under the influence.
Sobriety is being checked on the roadways and on the water. And something to keep in mind if you are driving the boat, the BAC limit is the same as if you were driving a car, and that is .08 in the state of Georgia. Reporting at Lake Lanier, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
And it's not only out on the water, but some other things to keep in mind: grilling safety. Now, at this point, fire officials have not determined the exact cause of a fire that happened yesterday at a Sandy Springs apartment building that was right off of Peachtree Dunwoody Road. However, our reporter Asia Wilson had noted that the call initially came in as a grill fire. Now, again, this has not been determined to be the cause of the fire that destroyed 28 units of the Avia apartments. However, it is something to note as far as grilling safety. Fire officials remind you to keep your grill at least 10 feet away from the house or any other combustibles. Never walk away from your grill while cooking with charcoal grills. Make sure you use charcoal lighter fluid only. And before using a gas grill for the first time, make sure all those connections have been tested. Also, make sure the grill isn't leaking any natural gas or liquid propane, and make sure your gas grill lid is open before lighting it. So I know that these might seem like routine reminders for a lot of you all, but it's just that taking that one extra second to double check, it could definitely keep you and your family safe in these situations. One more fun thing I wanted to show you here before we wrap up. Look at all those Spider-Men. It was the final day of MomoCon in downtown Atlanta, and the convention actually tried to set a world record for the most people dressed as Spider-Man. Looks like they got pretty close. The organizers say they didn't quite make the record, but it was still a great showing. If you're not familiar, MomoCon is basically an event that gathers all people who love anime and comic books and things like that. And so, hey, a lot of Spider-Man lovers out there, as you can see. I wonder how close they were to the record. Looks pretty impressive. All right, now something else pretty impressive. I want to show you this view. Look at that beautiful view of the city of Atlanta. And overall, not a bad weekend for Memorial Day weekend. It was a beautiful day today, and we're going to have nice clear weather that continues for the most part tomorrow. And to tell us more about it, I'm going to send it over to meteorologist Cutter Martin because he knows a lot more about it than I do. Cutter.
Well, at least I hope that I can nail this forecast. It's pretty nice out there this evening. Do have a few clouds bubbling up, as Karli just mentioned. It feels cooler than what you would expect for the Sunday before Memorial Day. Tomorrow there will be some clouds in the forecast, but in general a nice day. Maybe not completely sunny, but mostly dry and pretty nice for any of those plans you have going on. Whether they be in the morning, the evening, the afternoon, all of our time span tomorrow, no matter which part of the day you're really getting out and enjoying the holiday, it's going to be pretty nice. And what you see is what you get. Basically a carbon copy of today, though we will add just a little bit more cloud cover. We will also add a slight chance of rain, keep a slight chance of rain in the first alert forecast. We're going to pull up the weather computers to better tell that story. So bear with me here as I kind of route some graphics in, and then we'll be back in to the full first alert forecast. Certainly hope you all had a wonderful day. Got outside, enjoyed some of that nice weather. Temperatures today peaking in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees. And again, right now it is absolutely nice outside, not tracking much of any weather concerns. Temperatures back in the upper 70s earlier this afternoon, now kind of cratering back into the low to mid 70s, and before too long we'll be in the 60s this evening. While we pull up the weather graphics, we're going to have a kind of a standard view of first alert radar, mostly dry, though do notice that little bit of rain, tiny little shower near LJ, kind of accompanying some of the clouds we have across the northeastern mountains of Georgia and East Georgia as well. So we're going to be tracking some decent conditions here this evening, but can't totally rule out an isolated shower, mainly north and northeast of Metro Atlanta. But again, a little bit of moisture is possible into town as well. But if you do happen to be impacted by an isolated shower, it's not going to last too long, probably less than 10 minutes. And again, there's the 7-day forecast, bringing you back to the hour-by-hour outlook, kind of the focus on this evening. Notice how forecast model doing pretty well with what's happening. We have a mix of clouds and sun as the sun sets across North Georgia, Metro Atlanta. Also, just a little bit of moisture out there, though mostly dry. Notice, as I get to the pause point here, though, that this band of cloud cover is kind of feeding in from the north and west, and that's where we have seen a couple sprinkles, isolated showers across East Tennessee, far western North Carolina. So this band of clouds could be accompanied by a sprinkle or two this evening. In general, though, I think you'll just notice an uptick in the amount of clouds in the sky as the sun sets and we get into the first few hours of this evening. Early tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., temperatures low to mid-50s outside of Atlanta. I think mid to upper 50s across the immediate metro. Clouds and sun, kind of a mix there with a light breeze. It'll be nice. And then clouds may try to increase once again as we get into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, and an isolated shower or few possible, again, mainly north and northeast of Metro Atlanta. Going to keep that 20% chance going into the city through the evening, but by and large, a dry Memorial Day, mostly dry. Only a couple of communities really, at risk to see a brief shower, and it's not anything that's really going to cause a big impact to any plans. Whether you're grilling in the evening, you have pool plans in the middle of the afternoon, no significant weather worries. Back to that hour-by-hour forecast as we leave Monday and get into Tuesday. Pretty nice out there Tuesday morning. Again, couple clouds out. Could be an isolated shower Tuesday. In fact, this model run is a little bit more impressed with the rain potential Tuesday, but for now, going to keep that forecast mostly dry. Only about a 10 to 20% chance of rain Tuesday in spots. And then we're going to be tracking a pretty nice midweek. That 7-day forecast for you once again. Temperatures back in the low to mid 80s. There are some of those clouds this evening. We'll have more of those tomorrow. Pleasant Tuesday, going to warm it up. 83 Wednesday, 84 Thursday, 86 Friday and Saturday afternoon. So some pretty decent weather in the first alert forecast. Just a slight chance of rain. Certainly, though, nothing that is really that concerning. As far as outdoor plans is concerned or are concerned. Just wanted to touch on the forecast briefly. Again, thank you for tuning in and for watching Atlanta News First, this ANF Plus live stream. We're back on TV here in just a few minutes at 9 p.m. Coming up here in about 45 minutes, Peachtree TV, Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV again at 10 p.m. and 11 o'clock half hour back on WANF. Reminder, if you're away from the TV, you can't catch the newscast, you can always stream us. Atlanta News First, the app. Also, First Alert weather app, atlantanewsfirst.com as well. We'll leave you with a gorgeous live look outside. This looking across the connector towards Midtown and downtown Atlanta. Thank you for tuning in and for watching. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Full Memorial Day forecast coming up here in just a bit.